This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning. It is the Morning Drive on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, and Chuck Heinz. It's going to be a great day. Look forward to hearing from you on the Yates Morning Center chat line. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app for that. We get this, funny, Chuck. There is an A&M campus in Georgetown, Texas. No sports, though. That's funny. I did not know that. Just kind of came out of my mouth. Kind of one of those things.
Okay, you had me confused.
I didn't know there was Georgetown, Texas A&M Georgetown. Last night on our airwaves, we had Frenship girls and boys basketball. The Frenship girls won over Lubbock Cooper, 65-60. I was listening to that game on my way home from work last night, and then while I was fetching dinner, and the Coopers, man, they put a little run there at the end, Jamie, and darn near upset the Frenship Tiger girls there on the road. There was a late technical on the Cooper coach, Jaden Isler. Did that affect the outcome of the game?
I thought it was massive, and I don't know if you should say almost upset them or not. I mean, both. I think Cooper's, higher ranked than Frenship. Well, I know they're 5A compared to 6A. Yeah, but Cooper's got a great girls basketball program.
No question. Obviously they played for a state championship last year.
Yeah. So, it was a great game. Frenship was in control much of the night, and credit Cooper, man. They just never went away. They just kept coming back, and Magic Escobar at the end of the game just, she started taking over, and she's a terrific player and really scored all three levels, and in that maybe four levels if you take like two steps behind the arc. She's got mad range, and she's a terrific player, and she hit the three, I think, with about $1:11 to go in the fourth to give Cooper their, I don't know if it was their first lead, but it was their first lead for a long time. Frenship was up double digits in the second half, and so with 1:11-ish to go, she hits the three from the right corner to put them ahead, and then immediately the coach is teed up. So I don't know if he was on the court and ran into the official. I don't know if he said something to the official. It seems like a really odd time to get a technical when your team had just hit a three to take the lead.
It was so confusing.
Yes, it really, I just was, what could he have been upset about? I don't really know. Anyway, it completely changed it because you could feel like Frenship getting a little bit tighter because the lead's slipping away. And now Cooper's taking the lead, and all the pressure is on Frenship now as they're coming down the court, with closing in on a minute left in the game, and all the pressure's on them. They're now losing. Got to get a bucket here to get back out in front.
So do they get to shoot free throws?
And Andy Cadell, who's like the best free throw shooter in North America, drills 2 free throws and gives Frenship back the lead. Kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off. And
plus they get the
basketball. And Abby Holder scores for Frenship. And so instead of heading down the court, with all the pressure going against you, down by a point, you're up a point with a possession, you score. So you come away from that possession up 3. It was a massive call in the game. And again, I have no idea what the technical was about. Didn't look like he was irate over there, so I don't know if he said the magic words. Don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he was on the court and he ran into the official ran into him, because sometimes you can get teed up for that.
Sure, and those sidelines get squashed, in high school gyms.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of room over there. That was It wasn't because they didn't play at Oklahoma State's football stadium. There's plenty of room.
What I'm talking about. It's been a while since I've been in that gym. So
coaches just need to be off the court. Stay on the sidelines.
No question.
So I don't know if that was the reason for the technical. I don't know, but I thought it was a huge call in the game. Huge call.
Yeah, you just kind of wonder, okay, so, and it's almost like and again, he may have said the magic word, or he may have said something but it was just so odd, because usually when a coach gets teed up, it's because an official makes a call and they don't agree with the call, and blah 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 blah. And usually, you never. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen a coach get a T when his player made a good play.
Yeah,
or made a shot like that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it was a great comeback by Cooper to keep battling, and kind of showed their sort of championship medal by not giving in, and credit the Tigers for, when it went back against them, when it felt like everything was going against them, they, make the free throws and then kind of surge back out there in front, and Abby Holder and Abby Boyce made some big plays down the stretch, and it was great. It ended up being a great game, a lot of fun.
I love that girl's name though, Magic. What's her last name?
Escobar.
Yeah. It's just.
You'd love her shot more if you saw it. It's terrific.
Yeah.
She's a great player. I think she's going to Angelo State. So, great game. Great game. We expected it to be a good one, and it was a good one. The boys' game, not so much.
Yeah, boys win 91-63.
That Friendship team is, I think they could probably take like their back 8 off that roster and beat a lot of teams in this area. They're pretty loaded.
Okay, well they might be able to make a bit of a run then when it gets to the state.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you get playing those Metroplex schools in the second or third round, and it gets really hard. But they're really good. So both girls teams, played really well last night. It was a great game.
Well,
it was a lot of fun.
It's too bad, and again, I don't know the dynamics.
I don't want to blame it. I don't want to insinuate anything against the official.
Right.
I mean, because we all know. I mean, you can be as calm as a cucumber over there, say the right words, and you can get teed up and it be completely legit.
Yeah.
He didn't. The Cooper coach didn't complain after he got the technical. It was almost like he knew.
He's like, I crossed the line.
Yeah, he didn't complain.
Yeah,
he turned and
it may have been one of those things where they questioned their integrity. Maybe some of this to the effect of, "Hey, despite the way that you're calling this game, we're still going to win it." Now, I don't know if that gets you a technical or not.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it could. I mean, that might be something that might be something like if I were coaching, I might say,
"Yeah,
hey, despite the fact that we're going to win the game."
Yeah,
and then it's like. And one of the things that the Big 12, at least on the women's side, and I don't know about the men's side, I'm assuming so because not that the rules are the same, but one of the things that was put out there at Big 12 Media Days in big black and white letters was that on-court behavior and bench decorum was going to be more scrutinized this year. And Coach Gerlich got a technical in the UTSA game the other night, which, the game was still kind of going back and forth a little bit. I mean, it wasn't like that, but I mean, it was like, you can't afford, then you can't afford to get another one because then you get ejected. But she wasn't happy with a call that wasn't made on the Lady Raider end of the court, and basically the same foul, and maybe not even as aggressively, was then called on Tech on the other end.
Oh, well, I hope people yelled "call it both ways."
Well, right.
one of my favorite basketball ones.
I might have even said that basically what she's wanting is she's wanting him to call it both ways. Okay, but so Lisa Jones, who's the official, she comes down the floor and. Usually she's pretty level-headed, and Coach Gerlich must, because she was kind of jawing at her, and then kind of walked down towards the end of the bench, and it was still going, and then that's when she got teed up, and I've seen less of that so far. Now you haven't had necessarily competitive games, but it seems like in the early going we've seen less kind of going after the officials. By both teams.
That's good.
By both teams.
That's good.
Of the games that I've observed so far.
I will say I was a little bit surprised it wasn't absolutely packed at Friendship last night. I was a little surprised by that. Like last year at Cooper, I mean, there was like not a seat.
Not a seat.
Are
there more seats over at the Friendship Gym?
Yeah, I would guess so. But I mean, I don't know that it's significantly more. Both have great gyms.
They were at home listening to Choice Woodman and Clint
That's exactly what it was.
Because that's what I was doing. I was on my way home, and I was listening to Choice and Clint on Double T 97.3 and enjoying their broadcast.
Next Tuesday night, it'll be Monterey at Friendship. So should be another great, especially on the girls' side, should be a terrific matchup there. And
hopefully everybody plays, right?
Hopefully all the Monterey girls are able to play in that one.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We need to add a word to your vocabulary, Chuck.
Which one?
Maybe.
Oh, I there is no question in my mind that we will never, ever play them again in regular season play. In your lifetime, in Raiders' dad's lifetime, in my lifetime, in my mother's 91-year-old mother's lifetime, in the newborn that lives next door to me, in her lifetime. Nobody's lifetime will we ever play the University of Texas in football in regular season play again. It's just not going to happen.
Oh man, I don't think it's likely to happen. But the way college football has changed so much, the way things have changed. I mean, you don't think it's possible that someday we end up in a 4 super conferences, or any of that? You don't think that's a possibility at all?
I do.
And you don't think that the team from Lubbock and the team from Austin might be in the same one?
I hope that's the case. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I really do. I really hope I'm wrong.
I know I'm reaching here a little bit, but I don't feel like I'm suggesting that the two teams are going to play each other on the moon.
Right? Maybe.
I just feel like college football has changed so much in the last 20 years that.
How about the last 5?
Yeah, but it's hard for me to sit here and go, well, in the the next 40 years, it's never going to change for that to happen. Man, I think it's a possibility. Like I said, I would think you could probably say it's likely, or it's very likely. You could even say that, but to act like it never could happen, that seems a bit much.
Okay.
But I mean, we're the Morning Drive. We're kind of a bit much.
Yeah. Red Raider 2 Gun says, and who cares, Chuck? Good riddance. See, I thought he meant like good riddance to me, but I think he means good riddance to Texas.
Well, why would he say good riddance to you? You're not going anywhere.
Well, I know, but I mean, I was like, I took that the wrong way. I took that the wrong way.
Okay.
But I'm going to take it the other way. And then he goes on to say, we keep chasing an ex that has divorced us and move across the country. Right.
Yeah, I'm just not I am not heartbroken that they're gonna be gone.
No, I get it.
And I wasn't heartbroken that the Aggies left either.
Well,
it's like the less I have to deal with those people, the better.
No, I know. I just I hate it because I love the sports hate, especially when you have a chance to beat them and when you do
especially
beat
with
them.
the Longhorns, man, they've just owned us.
I know. Yeah, I know. But there's always
it's like, I want to go back for another root canal.
Have you ever had a root canal?
No.
Me neither.
Okay.
Me neither. I mean, I've never had I've had other things, but I've never.
But that once every 6 years when we go to the dentist and he says, hey, no root canal. Man, that's all worth it. 5 straight root canals, but that once every 6 years. Hey, you look pretty good there, Jamie. I'm not going to pull any teeth.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. This is awesome. I love the dentist.
I got a B- on my last dental report. Need to do a better job.
I'm excited about the new Big 12. I really am. I'm excited
Are
because
you?
Yes. You're not?
No, because I'm a traditionalist. We know that.
I don't know what tradition that is, but
well, I love the historical matchups, and I hate seeing these things that are just. It's not just here. It's in the Pac-12. It's not necessarily in the Big Ten. That seems to have found a way to stay together, and the SEC for the most part too. I hate that these, battle for the drum or the axe or the spurs or the cider barrel or whatever, cowboy hat, whatever they're playing for.
Have any of us even ever seen the Spurs?
I have a picture of the Spurs on my phone. Because I was at a basketball game and we sat in the Chancellor's box or the President's box. It was one of them.
Humble brag. Yeah, I've seen the Spurs.
I've seen the Spurs.
I asked the question, so that's a fair answer.
Yes, I have seen the Spurs, and they're pretty. Pretty. Would love to make sure that we figure out a way to keep them.
I just like the feeling that everybody has equal say in the new Big 12, and there's not one pompous, arrogant, guy that gets to make all the rules, and I like what we have in the conference. It's going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, I do agree with this text where we have a better chance to actually be competitive across the board. The whole league will be more competitive.
Yeah, but really, that's not about Texas. If we're talking about football, that's about Oklahoma.
Yeah, really,
because Texas hasn't owned the conference by any stretch.
Sure, yeah, and it becomes a little bit fairer of a fight, so to speak. But I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to play them again.
No, I don't. I think it's unlikely that we're ever going to play them again. And I'm not trying to tell you that I'm happy that they're leaving or anything like that. I think there's something to be said for, it's fun to see the fan base get so fired up and be excited about a game coming to town. And obviously everybody has that team that they dislike more than others. And I would say the majority of our fan base dislikes UT more than any other school. Okay. Yeah. I do not fall into that category. And so maybe I don't have the angst that everybody does. I have stronger dislike for Oklahoma State and TCU and Baylor than I do for Texas. But
I think that you're.
I know I'm in the minority.
Yeah.
In so many things.
No. Just
I get it.
No, I think in a lot of ways you're in the majority of the good people. But I think in the majority of that, you're not. I think if you polled people individually, they'd say, you know what, I should be more like Jamie.
I doubt it.
No,
I promise you don't want to do that.
No.
I don't think I'll be obsessed with every Saturday looking to see if the Longhorns win or lose.
I got you.
In the SEC. I just won't.
I will say this. I don't think any amount of pressure on UT is going to force them to ever consider putting Texas Tech on their schedule, whether it's the legislature or anything. The only thing that is going to put pressure on either school to play each other is if there's a massive amount of money, which could happen. Or, as Jamie said, you get into 4 super conferences as opposed to kind of what we have right now, and you put the Texas schools all together again.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Tips at 1:30 if you want to schedule your lunch accordingly, or
of course you do.
Hey, I got a crosstown meeting. I'm not sure I'll be back until about 3:30 today, maybe 4:00. So if you've got that, or if you just got a lot to do today, try to get it all in before 1:30. All right, we'll have Red Raider football on the air for you on Friday. They take on Texas down in Austin. Our Optimum Game Day Live coverage with Tech Talk at 2:30. So a little early edition of Tech Talk on Friday, 2:30 to 5:30. They'll still get their 3 in, and then it's time for Red Raider football from Austin with our fellas down there. That'll be boots on the ground. We talked about Taj Brooks, and we talked about his running. There's just been one Big 12 game where he didn't get to over 100 yards, and that was 98 against K-State. So it's a formidable task this week with UT and their defensive line. And Coach Joey McGuire talks about the challenge for Taj and his team with regard to the defensive line for Taj Brooks. So it's it
After watching them play Iowa State, man, I don't know what plays. Both of them. I mean, I know Murphy really well. I recruited him, and he's from DeSoto, so I watched him grow up. Being at Cedar Hill, and man, he's turned himself into such a great player. I knew he was going to be a good player, but he's turned himself into a great player. And then Sweat. I mean, I don't know who's blocked him. He's such a big human, 360 pounds, very physical, and it's good, or, as a football guy, of watching guys progress, because I think if you turn on the tape 2 years ago, I don't know if he was trending in that direction as far as the way they've been able to develop him and how hard he plays. But the one thing that the offensive line and Taj has been able to do is they've been really consistent. Whoever we've been playing, and it's one of those deals that you've got to go out there and you've got to find some good runs. You've got to schematically put us in some good situations, and then you got to let Taj Brooks, be Taj Brooks. I mean, he's leading the nation and creating missed tackles. He's in a really good groove right now, and we've got to do some things, whether it be through tempo, whether it be tempoing and keeping those guys on the field or off the field, possibly. Is one of those deals to put us in the best advantage, because they're going to be tough, man. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the nation whenever it comes to stopping the run. I think they're like at 82 yards a game, 82.7 yards per game, something like that, allowing, rushing. And so we got to find ways, good formations and good runs, and go out there and, let Taj do what he does.
That's Joey McGuire, and he's right. 82.7 is the yards that the Texas defense averages allowing per game. That's good for fourth in the nation.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So, so we had a bit of this conversation kind of at various times throughout the year. And could you say right now about your offensive line that when it comes to your running game, it has been a strength, and it has been maybe as advertised? Because Coach McGuire said, in the summer when we had him on, he felt like the offensive line was going to be a strength of this team.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would say offensive line has been really good in run blocking. I don't think they've been as good as in pass blocking.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously you're not having the kind of success that you're having on the ground without your offensive line being pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's hard to call them. They've been really good, but it's hard to call them a strength. What is? I mean, if you're talking, what's the strength of your offense?
Right now, it's the running game,
running the football,
and it's Taj Brooks.
They're a big part of that.
Yeah,
and so, I think they've gotten a lot better as the season has gone along. I think the first few weeks it was a little bit rough, but yeah, I guess. I would have a hard time making a case against that, against that point. If you're talking about because you can't say the strength of your offense is your passing game. You could say the strength of your offense is Taj Brooks. Okay, but Taj isn't putting up the numbers he's putting up without your offensive line being good.
Yeah, getting some help there along the line.
They're a big part of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Total offense. Texas is ranked 15th in the FBS. They're good, and then from a scoring standpoint, they've averaged about 33 a game. Red Raiders have averaged 29 a game. Of course, some of those things get spiked up and things like that, but still, I mean, you're probably going to have to score. Don't you think you're going to have to score 30 or more if you have a chance to win this game?
Mm-hmm. Most likely.
Yeah. And you can't give up the big explosive plays and the things like that. I mean, when you looked at the game this past week with UCF, there were a lot of things statistically that UCF won the game on. In fact, if you probably did a blind resume and you covered the logos of both teams and you just looked at the numbers, you'd be like, oh, man, this team over here, they might have won by 10. But because of how your defense stiffened up at times, whether it's end of the half.
Stop before the end of the half was massive.
And they forced him to kick a field goal that doinked on the right upright, and that thing hit that upright hard. I mean, you could hear it in my seat, and the thing just just kept vibrating. Mm-hmm. The thing hit it with it's like dead on authority. But your third down wasn't very good against UCF. And there for a long time in the game up until the last drive. They'd probably run 20 more plays than you had. So I mean, there were some things that took place in that game that you'd have liked to have maybe been a little bit better statistically, but that's not how they score the game. They score the game by who has the most points at the end of the game, right? And you had the most points at the end of the game.
You had one more than they did.
One more than they did. And
that's what we needed.
That's all that counts. Do you think time of possession is a key for Texas Tech in this game?
Well, you haven't been scoring, quickly, so it's not like you can ignore that stat. You're not a quick strike offense, so it's not as if you were able to say, now it doesn't matter because you just go on these. We're seeing 60 and 70-yard plays for scores. That's not what you do offensively.
Yeah,
and so it would be now if you wanted to do some of that, I'd be a big fan of it. I mean, I'm totally good with that.
Taking some air out of the ball.
No.
Putting the air into the ball.
Yeah.
A lot of it, actually.
Yeah.
Air it out even.
But
I'm talking about handing the ball off and grinding it out is what I'm talking about.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's what they are doing.
Yeah.
You get the big plays when you air it out.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, okay.
With more air in the ball.
Okay. All right. Semantics. Okay.
No. No. Scoring quickly is not taking the air out of the ball.
No, I don't think they should score quickly. I think they should grind it out.
Well, I'm telling you, I'm fine with them scoring quickly.
Oh, you are? With Tech scoring quickly?
Yeah, why not?
Early, often, consistent.
Yeah,
all of these
I mean,
things.
you can do it quickly, you can do it slowly, whatever.
I'd be for some of these 15 play drives that just takes forever off the clock. I think that's, to me, that's a key to win this ball game.
To paraphrase Dr. Seuss, I'm for scoring here. I'm for scoring there. I'm for scoring everywhere. I will score in their house. I will score with the mouse. I do not care. I like the scoring everywhere.
That was really good.
Thank you.
I don't like green eggs and ham, though.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Time now for Jamie's question of the day on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3.
Somebody off the chat line said, Jeff, my respect for you continues to grow. You obviously had a well-rounded childhood. And somebody else said, that was beautiful, Jeff.
It was really well done.
That was really well done off the top of your head. All right, your question for us, sir.
All right, so not that I'm bored with this year's football season, because I'm not, okay, especially after 3 wins in a row. But I'm going to jump ahead to next football season.
Oh, okay. Goodness.
What has you excited for next year? And what has you nervous for next year?
We won't have Taj Brooks. I guess Micah Hudson. I mean, that's the low-hanging fruit, right? I'm excited to see what this kid can do for you. I'm excited about. Okay, sounds really stupid. I'm excited about what the south end zone is going to look like. I heard from a guy that got a tour. Okay, because he donates a significant amount of money. That in the south end zone there's going to be party decks, and I'm curious if like my little seat on the east side gets me access to the party decks, but I'm guessing not. That you'd have to pay more for that, which I might be willing to do. So those are the two things that I'm excited about. Jeffrey?
Something to be excited about next season.
Is this that difficult?
I'm very nervous about next year.
Really?
I need to see how the transfer portal gets hit hard at a lot of different positions for this team on offense. And replacing
Are
Taj.
you fearful we're losing a lot to the portal? Or you're saying we just need to gain a lot?
We need to gain. We need to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger and pump you up. That's what they need to do on offense. Like, so many gains need to be had because you are losing so much of what you were doing well this year on offense. Between some offensive linemen that have done pretty well in the run block game and Taj Brooks specifically. That is a giant Grand Canyon-type chasm that you're going to have to find someplace to fill. And I haven't seen anybody on this team that I feel like on offense that is going to step up and get close to filling that.
You guys feel like
heck, Jeff wants to replace the quarterback.
I'm open for a battle.
You guys feel
I
like
don't want the heir apparent.
Cameron Valdez is an everyday back? Every down back? Not every day, every down. Only play on Saturday.
Hope he's healthy.
Unless it's Friday or Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think he's an every down back?
No.
I think he's a great change of pace back. I can think he could be the second head of a two-headed monster that can really perform well, but I don't think he's your lead dog.
I think he can be more than change of pace. I just don't know that it can be like he's your, well, I don't want to say primary, but like I'd like to see two guys that can share the load, so to speak. I think he can run between the tackles. I think he can break tackles and do all the above, and obviously he's got great speed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not here to say that I don't think he can be, an important back and an every down back. I think that I'd like to see it split. And so obviously somebody needs to step up there, or you need to bring somebody in.
Do you think
in the portal?
You're also losing a bunch of guys on defense that you've relied on a lot.
Well, there's three guys to me that are massive. Okay. And Taylor Demerson, and then your two defensive tackles, right? That to me is as scary as the running back thing, okay? Because I think it's easier to find a good running back than it is to find great defensive tackles.
I think you're right about
that.
And
you have two great ones who are really, really good dudes, great culture guys, great leaders, great Red Raiders, all the above. That there's not just a on the field thing, but leadership and all that good stuff that I think this team will miss losing those guys. And then Taylor Demerson, your biggest playmaker on defense.
Man, he has been a dude, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been great. So the thing that scares me is those three guys on defense. Placing those three guys, okay? I guess what I'm excited about is I feel like you know who your quarterback is, and I like the quarterback. You're going to bring back a guy that that you want to grow old with, I feel like. I like the fact that I don't think there is a quarterback controversy.
I do too. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Not that I'm saying if you got two, you don't have any. Not going there. Okay, but Micah Hudson is a good answer. I mean, I think he could be really good, and I think he can make an impact as a freshman. So that's also something to be excited about. But I don't know. I think there's a lot to be excited about. But I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, and you're losing some key guys. Key guys.
Well, I think you kind of also look at some linebackers that you have coming back that are,
Yeah, that's another thing to be excited about. Two really young, really good linebackers.
You got what Ben Roberts has been able to do this year, and then Jacob Rodriguez. If you could have him for a full, healthy amount, that'd be really good. And I think you've got some guys in the defensive backfield that are good as well. That have that ability. I was looking to see. Where Nehemiah Martinez is. He, I don't have his classification off the top of my head. Hopefully he's a guy that can be healthy. And one of the things that Coach McGuire talked about was that missing the fall camp like some of those guys did was just it's so hard for them to catch up. After the fact, and that was a challenge. So he'll be back. I just don't know if he can be as what you thought he was going to be coming into this year. I mean, because he's way down that list on the receiving scale. But that's going to be interesting to see. Okay, can Jordan Brown and J.J. Sparkman and Coy Aiken and can Duran Bradley, can he have a bounce back year? Can some of those guys have a bounce back year? What does Dre McRae look like next year? Brady Boyd, Xavier White is done, but you got some other guys too that'll be coming back on that receiving core. Can they grow a little bit?
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Being with us, Jamie, Jeff, and I, we come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thankful and grateful for all of our Double T 97.3 Morning Drive loyalists, and hope that you have a great Thanksgiving and get to spend some time with those that you enjoy and love and tolerate. And maybe you got the drunken uncle that'll come by, or the weird aunt, those are always entertaining. You can tolerate them, for a few hours once a year. The uncle that is he's a little off, but it all works, right? it all works. So hopefully you have.
Is this one of those deals where if you don't have one of those in your family, you might be that guy?
Could potentially be that guy, right? Mm-hmm. Could potentially be that guy. So, yeah, I'm probably every once in a while I might have fit the bill for that. He's a little off. he's just a bit outside.
I don't. You used to have one on one side of the family, but it's been a while, and he's passed a while ago. But I don't feel like we have one of those on either side
of
my family right now.
Maybe
so I might be that guy.
Maybe one of the daughters at some point in time would acquire somebody like that.
I think both of my daughters would assume that I'm that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
They would claim that. Yeah.
Raiders Dead. Are you the weird uncle, Chuck? No, I like to think I'm the cool uncle. That's what I like to think of myself, but.
Yeah, he didn't ask you if you would like to think if you are. He asked you if you were. Those are two different things. I'd like to think I'm tall and athletic, but,
right,
I'm not.
Right. We were talking about guys coming back, next year, whether it's offense or defense or maybe even special teams. But somebody off the Yates Flooring Center chat line said this: the most important person you need to bring back is Tim DeRuiter, your defensive coordinator. Yeah, I don't know that he's looking to leave, but maybe somebody's looking to put him
poach.
Put him in a
Wouldn't be surprised if teams were kicking tires on that.
And
they'd be silly not to.
Right, and what you hope is that you're creating whether it's a culture or a feeling that you can win here, or a little bit of comfortability of what you're going to get. You see that you've got a team that's under construction, in terms of being able to build up to winning something as opposed to going somewhere else. I mean, Tim DeRuiter's had a lot of jobs at a lot of different places. He's been a head coach, but he, like some of these other guys, I mean, getting to a spot in life where, like, okay, what do I really, really need? What do I really, really need? Do I, from a money standpoint, I mean, these guys are all paid reasonably well. I mean, you always want more, especially probably if you're, a guy like, he makes $1 million a year. And so could somebody come and get him? Yeah, they could come and get him. But does another $250 make a big difference in his life? Or is it about, hey, I like the kind of the atmosphere that they have here, that the leverage or the power or the decision making, and I'm able to do what I need to do. That type of thing. But I don't know. I don't know what his career goal is. If it's to be a head coach again, or if it's, I want to work for a team that has a chance to win a national championship. I'm sure that's what all those guys would say.
Probably so.
Or I want to be in a spot where we can at least contend for a Big 12 title, because I feel like if we can contend for a Big 12 title, it will put you into a position to win or get into the college football playoff, especially when you're going to 12 teams. And when you think about it, next year at this time, because right now it just feels like, okay, well, you're playing for your bowl game. Can you improve your life from the Independence to, this bowl or that bowl? Well, hell, next year at this time, if you've won 8 games or if you've won 7 games, let's say you've won 7 games going into your last game of the year, could you be in a position where you're 8's probably not enough to get into a 12-team playoff, but 9 certainly is.
Maybe
9 certainly is, especially if you're Texas Tech this year, because right now you're 5-3. You go 6-3 in the Big 12, based on in most years, that could lead to an 8 or 9 win season pretty easily.
if you don't stumble like you did this year in non-conference.
Right. I mean, generally speaking, you feel like you're probably going to win at least 2 of your non-conference games. So you win 6, you might be in it. And if you had won against West Virginia, if you had beaten West Virginia, and I don't know what all the tie-breaking scenarios look like, but I'm just going to say this: if you were 6-3 right now, and you're playing Texas, or 6-2 right now, and you're playing Texas, you might be playing for the opportunity to be in the Big 12 title game if you had beaten West Virginia.
I don't disagree with you.
And so
now I feel like you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit when we're talking about Tim DeRuyter should stick around because maybe next year you're in the college football playoff.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying when you look at it kind of moving.
So does that make you happy or does that make you sad? Make you feel better or make you feel worse?
That there's a 12-team playoff next year?
No, that if you had beaten West Virginia.
Oh, it makes me gnash my teeth.
Yeah, makes me nauseous.
Yeah, it makes me just go, man, you missed an opportunity. And it just, again, goes to show you how razor thin these things are in terms of whether it's decision-making or play-making or luck or whatever, bounce of the ball, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, you could even go, you could even say to yourself, well, if Baron Morton doesn't get hurt against Kansas State, you probably could say the same thing.
Yeah, except for the fact that you did not make any defensive adjustments. It didn't appear in the second half, and you let their quarterback,
Doesn't matter what you did against Kansas State. You could have won against BYU.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get you still could have beaten Kansas State, yes. But I think
the odds of beating West Virginia or beating a BYU would have been substantially better with Baron Morton.
That's the point I was trying to
make. No, I completely agree with you.
So it's the same way. You're that close.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't get angry about the BYU one. I mean, it was bad luck. Your quarterback, you'd blown through 2 quarterbacks. That's bad luck. It is what it is. West Virginia was self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
I know you lost your quarterback in that game, but you had a very capable one there and he just didn't play well.
And somebody says he's on the list for USC defensive coordinator. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. But, hopefully you kind of can create an atmosphere and environment and, pay schedule that's like, hey, it's a lot cheaper to live in Lubbock than Los Angeles. And we have planes. If you like going there, we can get you there. But, and who knows, maybe it's about being with a big program, too.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.